Well, no, thanks, everybody. Thanks for coming here. And this really isn't an introduction of Brock as our head coach because it's been a work in progress for a while now. But I know we're all anxious to hear from him. And before I talk about Brock, I just wanted to again thank Jeff Jackson for everything he's done for Notre Dame and for our hockey program. When you think about the caliber of student athletes that he's brought to Notre Dame to play hockey, the success that his teams have had here in Notre Dame, I mean, Jeff, you really more than anybody have put Notre Dame hockey on the national map as one of the true powerhouses of hockey, and you've always done it in the absolute right way, the Notre Dame way, when never forgetting that these hockey players are really student athletes here at Notre Dame, and we'll never be able to thank you appropriately or enough for everything you've done for Notre Dame hockey. So thank you, Jeff. Yeah, really appreciate it. And when I think about Brock, I mean, the first conversation I had about Brock was with Jeff last year in my office, and Jeff came in and mentioned that this year was going to be his last year, and we needed to start thinking about the future. And I said, you know, we're going to do a national search. And Jeff said, well, go ahead, knock yourself out. But we got the right person right here at Notre Dame. And I knew Brock a little bit, but then really got to know him over the course of that process. And I would tell you, the minute Brock walked into my office and we started talking about the job, the future, how to navigate Notre Dame hockey in this changing landscape of college sports, I mean, I'd like to say I thought a lot about it, and I went home and I took out a legal pad and the pros and cons. But, I mean, to be honest, in the first 45 seconds of the conversation, I said to myself, this is our next head hockey coach. You just knew immediately. And when you think about Brock, I mean, he knows Notre Dame so well. He was a student at Notre Dame, obviously a Notre Dame student athlete, had great success playing hockey for Coach Jackson. I think he was part of your first team that you took to the Frozen Four here at Notre Dame, so he knows Notre Dame so well. He met his wife, Ashley, who was a student at St. Mary's at the time, and now, of course, they're here with Evelyn and Bo. But it's this great Notre Dame story of somebody who came to Notre Dame as a student athlete, had great success on the ice and in the classroom, went off and had a great career professionally in so many different levels, and was really had an unbelievable future in professional hockey at the coaching level. But Brock took a bet and a chance on himself and came back to Notre Dame as an assistant, hoping that he could position himself to follow Jeff as the next head hockey coach. And that, to me, is just a wonderful Notre Dame story, knowing that we're going to have somebody in charge as the Catalino family head hockey coach who knows this school so well, knows the landscape, knows the environment, will be just relentless in his pursuit of success to put our hockey team back on top. So with that, I hope you can all join me in wishing Brock congratulations and welcoming him to Notre Dame as our head coach.
No, thank you, Pete. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, it is weird I've been here now 2 years, been back, but to truly stand up here and be the next head coach, it's amazing. The opportunity to lead Notre Dame hockey is a dream come true for me and our entire family. And I truly believe that. We'll be forever grateful to Father Bob Dow, John Viemeyer, Jack Brennan, who was actually in my office the other day. Guys, absolutely amazing. Pete Bavacqua, and the University of Notre Dame for this amazing opportunity, privilege, and responsibility. We're so thankful for your support and your belief. I'd also like to acknowledge how important the support of Coach Jackson has been through this entire process. Your faith in my ability to be the next head coach and lead this program into the future, it's meant everything to me. The foundation set by you, Coach Pooley, Coach Slaggert, over the past 20 years, it's amazing. The future of Notre Dame hockey is bright, and so much credit goes to former staff, former players, supporters of the program. Our foundation would not be so strong without the work done by those people, including Coach Jackson, Coach Pooley, Coach Slaggert, the Compton family, the Catalino family, Dave Poulin, who actually recruited me to come here. Coach Slaggert recruited me, but Dave Poulin was the head coach at the time. Coach Slaggert's recruited everybody that's pretty much played hockey here. Like I said, the Catalino family, Compton family, Rick Schaefer, Tim McNeil, and Lefty Smith, and just many, many more. To our students and our local fans, you make Compton Family Ice Arena what it is. We're so excited for your continued support. I believe you'll love the product that's on the ice in the future. We'll get into that a little bit later. But before I get into my vision and where I think Notre Dame hockey stands currently as a program and where we can get it to, I think the most important thing to recognize is the most important people to me in my life. And that starts with my children, Bo and Evelyn. Don't be shy, Evs. You're everything to your mother and I. I have your socks on currently just to embarrass you, Bo. But we're so proud. we're so proud of the young people you are today and the people I know that you will become. To my wife, Ashley, I love you. I just thank you so much for your endless support. I think it was the other day, a couple weeks ago, right? We were talking around a conversation that we had 12 years ago. So I played for the Ontario Reign in the East Coast Hockey League. And what's next was the question. You know, we could have gone and played in Europe. I would have had the visa issue, all those type of things. Like, what's next? And I said, I think I could be the next head coach at the University of Notre Dame. 10 to 12 years from now. And without question, you supported my dream, which became our dream. From a volunteer coach here, living in your grandmother's house, making no money, and Ashley supporting everything that we did, including allowing me to get my Jeep that I still drive, my first car, because I'd never owned a car before. From a family of 4 in a 1-bedroom apartment in downtown Worcester, Massachusetts. Evelyn was in our room. We made a, like the dining room, a room for Bo. Most people, I think that would have been the end of that dream. But you stayed with it. We stayed with it to Chicago, to pro hockey, which we love the pro hockey game. And you'll hear me say this a multitude of times. There's only one place I would come back, and that was here. But you've always believed in me. And together we've made this come to fruition. So I thank you for that. Getting to just Notre Dame and the hockey program, I believe Notre Dame is the best of everything. I lived it as a student, as a hockey player, as a member of the community. I honestly believe that this is the best place in the world to go to school, to develop as a person, and in our case, to compete and to develop as a hockey player. I've said this before, like I just said, like there's one place that I want to coach and call it. College sports are very interesting right now. There is one place that I think you can do this and do this the right way, and that is here. And I truly believe that. I know the foundation of Notre Dame hockey is strong, and that's the work that's been done by the previous staff. We have great people in and around the program. Our coaches, Coach Slaggert will be back, and I got to make sure I have this right, for his 31st season as a Notre Dame hockey coach. Like I said, he's recruited most hockey players. He also went to school here, so that's 35 years. But I think he's the best person to help connect this and continue to get the right people here and support my vision for the program. We're in progress of hiring 2 more coaches in the coming months. I believe our support staff is the best in the country. I know that. Some of them are still people that worked with me as a player. Tony Berlinski, Kevin Ricks here, unbelievable people that just know how to connect with players and have adapted and learned and gotten better. And I just feel like we have the best staff in the country. And to our returning players, I believe we have the right people. They gave me a ton of confidence moving into the future. People have asked me this question around the ranks, like, oh, rebuild. This is not a rebuild. And the confidence I have in that is some of these guys sitting right here. I know this because of the type of young men they are. We have way more talent than people think in our locker room. I know that because I see you guys every day. We have student athletes that value everything Notre Dame has to offer. Again, I see that every day. And I actually believe this is one of our biggest strengths going into the future, is and I've been here for this, is we've faced some real adversity the past 2 years. And if we lean into that, next season, this spring, this summer, I believe that's going to lead to success for the program in short order. Just like the last couple of things here, like our goals for the program, it'll be to recruit and develop players that are the right fit for Notre Dame hockey. And I believe we have the people that know who those kids are, the right kids. We obviously want to win at the highest level. We want to win conference championships. We want to bring that first national championship. Everybody says that, right? Like, I think everybody says that. What I have learned is the best way to do that is just to be consistent and truly focus on the process. And people talk about process all the time. It's hard to stick to the process when things get hard. In my experience as a head coach, I believe consistency is something that I do very well, and that's something that we will do whether it's recruiting the right type of player, whether it's how we practice, watch film, in the weight room, whatever we're doing, the way we communicate, we'll be consistent. And in order to do that and get the most out of the players, you have to create meaningful and lasting relationships. That's why I eat lunch with you guys all the time, because if you guys get to know me, I get to know you. When it's time to be hard on you, we can have that conversation. But I think our process will separate us. We have a lot of other things like the university itself, the right people, but to have that true, consistent process with the talent and the right type of people, that'll separate us. And we'll be focused on developing each individual to the best of our ability, day in and day out. That doesn't mean we're not playing a team game. Hockey is a team game. But that's something that I learned early in my head coaching experience, is investing in the player, having parallel lines of development, and truly you guys feeling that you're getting better as individuals within our team system, structure, details, habits, all that. That will lead to lasting success for you as individuals, and then for us as a program. We'll win more as a result of that consistent process. And I do believe this is the best part of it, and what I saw this when I coached the Chicago Steel. That consistent process will provide you guys with an amazing experience, an elite experience, and that will get us the next elite person and player. And that will lead to sustained success for the program. We will not chase wins. We're not into that. All right, we will chase the process every day. We'll get better every day, and that's what you'll see from our program, from our players. And you'll get the best version of us as coaches, and we'll expect the best version of our players and their teammates every day. And this is the last thing that I have is just, since being announced, the next head coach for Notre Dame hockey, the outpouring of support, and this goes back to like last summer when it was really announced. People connected to the program, former players, alums, people outside the program. It's been amazing. And I just want everyone to know that my promise that we'll do things the right way. Coach Jackson has showed me that. That's extremely important, to do things the right way at Notre Dame. We'll push our players and our teams to reach their full potential. And at the end of the day, my hope is they'll leave Notre Dame with lasting habits, better people, better players, leave here as champions, and leave here with every single door open to them in the future. So that's what I have for you guys today. I don't know if there's any questions, but
Thanks,
that's
Coach.
what I got.
At this time, I'll open it up to the audience for any questions you may have for Coach Sheahan. Coach, back left.
Hey, Coach. You kind of talked about recruiting the right players for here at Notre Dame hockey. Just on the ice, though, specifically, what kind of like play style? What should people expect kind of how your team's going to look next season?
Yeah, I think to play Division I college hockey, to compete it has to be there in some form. My version of compete when I see players might be a little bit different than others, but that's number one. And then hockey sense. I think you can improve hockey sense, but the ability to make plays, to adapt, and then we're going to play fast. So skating is an asset that we would like to have.
And then you talked about some long-term goals, but like this upcoming season, your first year, what would success in your mind look like for that first season?
Yeah, like I'm not one to put like numbers on, we need to win a certain amount of games or end up doing this or that. Our goal will be to win a national championship. Now, we'll talk about that early in the year, and then that's the end of that. Like, our goal would be to have our guys focused in on each and every single day getting better. Each player will have what they're supposed to be getting better at as a team, and then day-to-day we'll address that as a staff. And I think if you can have that narrow focus, everyone knows where we want to be at the end of the day, but if you have that narrow focus day-to-day, it's amazing. It's amazing what you can do.
Coach, back middle. If you wouldn't mind just introducing yourself and your organization, that'd be great. Thanks.
Hey, Coach, Dante Stanton, ABC 57 News. In what ways did your time as a player here at Notre Dame and as a student athlete at Notre Dame prepare you first for the associate position and then, now the head coach?
Yeah. I think, well, even going back to as a volunteer, having been in the meetings, having had Coach Jackson, Coach Pooley, Coach Slaggert as my coaches, like I was literally in their shoes. I think that was really helpful in relating to players, right? I think that number one, like going way back. Then coming back to the program, I think that's still an aspect of being relatable to them. But understanding what it means to be a Notre Dame student athlete, I think is extremely important. There's a lot on their plate. What is it? Choose hard, right? Like it is hard, but that's okay. Right? If we have the support, we have people there, they're going to help you. And I think that the guys knowing that it's okay when it's hard and like being able to talk to us and open up about that allows us to get through those hard moments, help them, and then at the end of the day, get the most out of them when we're on the ice, right? In the film room, in the weight room. That's something that I think has been really helpful.
John Finneran, Coach. How are you?
How's it going?
I don't know how to determine what I am anymore. So, could you tell us what your plans are as far as you see navigating through what college hockey has become with the portal, the NIL, and everything else? Because you see teams down, and all of a sudden they're up.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a great question. You look. And our players know this. They're connected to other people. There's teams that, rosters are 26 to 30 right now, and you'll have 10 guys in the portal, right? So that tells you how teams are rebuilding. We don't have anybody in the portal, right? So I think we can build within, and recruiting is going to be a big piece of that. Not that we don't take a player or two out of the portal. They have to be a fit. They have to fit our style of play. They've got to fit a need, and they've got to be able to get into school. So we'll go about it that way. I do think we are being open to what the college hockey recruiting landscape is right now. Major, junior is 1,500 more players are available. So that is a wrinkle. And in our experience, we've used our contacts, we've used our relationships. And the right people have been brought to us, and then we evaluate if they're a right fit. So we have 3 players coming in from the Ontario Hockey League next year, which, a year ago, that wasn't even a possibility. So that's where, and then as we build out our staff, we focus strictly in Ontario. I'm from Western Canada. It'd be nice to be able to branch out to the WHL as well. And you got the Quebec Major Junior League, which we've actually looked at a little bit as well. We're looking, Michael. We're looking.
Darren Pritchett wasn't able to be here today, but he did send me a question. Notre Dame has been a puck possession team for the last 20 years under Coach Jackson, but it was also often misconstrued as a defensive style of play. What is kind of your take on how you might combat this misconception and change it going forward? Yeah,
any team that I've been a head coach of has had a lot of offensive success, I would say. Like we set the record for goals in the USHL. We won a lot of hockey games. Power plays running over 30%. We will play offensive hockey, but we'll be a complete team. There are a lot of teams that are high volume right now. They shoot everything. The other side of it is like high possession, which if you go too far with that, you're not shooting the puck enough. For us, we'll be an offensive team that makes plays. We'll be more of a puck possession team, but we're going to work to get pucks back. We're going to play fast, and the way that I've coached, it's what I would call like purposeful hockey. There's no automatics. There's so many automatics. I can't stand it. You watch certain games, and it's like you can tell a team is automatic strong side breakout, automatic weak side wrap. We will teach our players to read the game and make the appropriate play. That takes a lot of work. That takes a lot of film. But once it's learned, it's a really fun way to play the game, and it's a really fun way to watch the game because there's a lot of plays being made, a lot of scoring chances which is what we're looking for.
Awesome. Any more questions? Oh, second row on center.
Thanks, Ryan Murphy here with The Observer. Coach, you've talked a lot about your experience with the school, both here as a student, but you've also been here for the last 2 years as an associate coach. What's the kind of the biggest lesson that you'll take away from your time the last 2 years here as a coach that you'll take into your head coaching experience? Yeah,
I was extremely impressed coming back with where the athletic department is at. Honestly, like I feel like we're in a position where we can handle the ever-changing landscape where you go into a Monday meeting like we just did and we don't know what's going on. We have the people here that we're getting a ton of information. I feel like we're well positioned to adapt. It just seems like a lot different athletic department that I remember as a student athlete and as a volunteer coach over 10 years ago now. You know, so I just feel like there's a lot of people around that we can lean on to get things done and guide us in the right direction.
And then just one question on a different note for you. You mentioned the 2 assistant coach vacancies you have. What will kind of be your thinking process as you go through building out your coaching staff?
Yeah, no, we have 2 positions. So the goal for the one position would be like an associate coach position, someone that I can lean on from a hockey side. We need someone to also work with our goalies, so we'll have someone that is fully invested in our goaltending, and then a major piece for that is to be connected in the advisor world, just connections. That's extremely important, and then the 4th coach or 3rd assistant for me, player development is something that's not done to the highest level in college hockey. I think in college hockey, they talk a lot about player development and how it's a great place to develop. I think it is a great place to develop as a person, to mature. You know, in the weight room, you get stronger, you get faster. But I feel like it kind of just happens. I don't think there's, you know, in my experience with players that I've moved on from when I coached the Chicago Steel to big time programs, and they're like, we're not getting what we want, you know? So that is a goal for that 3rd position. And then the recruiting world, like I said, we opened up 1,500 more. Literally every player is open now that wasn't before. So that person will also help in that role as well. Yeah.
Awesome. And more questions for Coach? John?
Coach, could you give us an idea what your immediate plans are, this week and going forward with the team?
Yeah.
Plans for them season work?
Yeah, we're going right now. So we started Mondays. We're doing a lot of skill work. Tuesdays right now we're doing just like power skating, edge work, and then they're in the weight room 4 times a week, and then we're having a little compete day on Thursday or Fridays, depending on if Coach Slags and I, with our travel. The 2 of us were covering a heavy recruiting season right now. But yeah, no, I think that for us to be able to play the way we want to play, our conditioning level needs to be elite. We're gonna work. We will not sit back. We'll be aggressive. So the work that they're getting in with the best strength coach in the entire world, that's what I would say. You know, you just want to look at me right now. Is extremely important, and I believe that the summer will be huge for our guys. So, yeah.
Awesome. Ryan, second row on your right.
One more question for you here, Coach. Just to kind of get into some nitty-gritty roster things that you expect to look like on the ice next year, can you kind of walk us through how many players you expect to come in? And you mentioned that it's all right if you don't have the top of your head, but you mentioned the 3 guys you're getting from the Canadian Hockey League. How do you expect those players to kind of acclimate to college hockey? It'll be a new experiment next year, I know.
Yeah, we're still working through the roster. We don't really know where that's going anyways, with roster limits or not. So we'll just on to like the guys from the Ontario League or from the CHL. I do think that'll be interesting. There's a lot of high-end talent. Like we have guys in this room that played World Juniors or have been in camps with guys. You know, there are elite players in those leagues. There are a lot of players in those leagues. So you have to be careful. And there's guys that can run numbers that it'll be interesting to see how that translates to a much tighter, harder, older college hockey, right? So, you know, when us, like myself, Coach Slaggert, Blake Haler, are looking at the film, like we're looking at things that we think are translatable. And the 3 guys that we're bringing in next year were 3 of many that we looked at that had the grades to come to Notre Dame and they were the right fit as people. We're hoping they'll be translatable as far as their compete level, their skating, and their skill set. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach. Thanks, everyone, for joining us today. And for the first official time, please join me in welcoming Catalino family head hockey coach, Sheahan.
Thank you very much.